Okay, this is an excellent point, and I should have clarified in the video about Medusa that the version I told was Ovid's version. But it gives me a chance to talk about my boy Ovid, and it's driving me crazy that I can't find my physical copy of this book. The thing you have to know about Ovid is that he was Roman. He was contemporaneous with Christ. That's how late he is. So the Greek myths go back 800 years. So the material that he was playing with, he was metamorphosizing. And so, yes, in the original Greek myth, Medusa was born a Gorgon and died a Gorgon. But he changed it around that she was a victim of assault by Poseidon, and that helps explain her story. This makes sense coming from a guy who was writing erotica as the first stuff he was putting out there. To me, it's his playing with the source material that makes Ovid so intoxicating. He would mix and match and change stories to talk about right and wrong and love and power in the Roman world. And so it was a way to poke at the higher ups. And yes, he was eventually exiled. Here's an amazing painting by my boy Turner called The Exile of Ovid. And we don't even know why he got exiled. Maybe Augustus did it because his poems were a little bit too inflammatory. Maybe he was fucking the wrong person, or maybe he knew about this plot against Augustus's life. But he did die in exile. But we are so lucky that he lived. He was hugely influential to people like Marlowe, Shakespeare, Milton, Cervantes, and Montaigne. And then all of the modern stuff that gets done around him, the number of modern translations and playing off of his work. People took his playful work, metamorphizing work, and keep metamorphosizing it. And it is such a rich vein for human thought and humans talking about what it means to live together and not harm each other. Lastly, he's the only known source for a number of famous myths, including Narcissus and Echo. One of the most important myths for the modern age is Narcissus, and also Pygmalion, which is the sculptor falling in love with his own sculpture. And this and a couple others. Ovid is the only source, so maybe that's what the original story was, or maybe he completely mixed it up to tell the story in the way he wanted to tell it. So all this to say, if you ever wanted to read anything about Greek myth, Ovid is a wonderful, wonderful place to start. And personally, I very much enjoyed this translation. Though if you have other translations, especially illustrated versions, I would love to hear about them.